When asked who has been the major influence in my life, I wouldn't have to think twice. He is a man who has experienced what you see on a Lifetime movie, experiences that you've never imagined going through. He may not have been a civil rights leader, politician, or teacher, but he is a man that I look up to and I am proud of, although I may not let him know at times, and that man is my father. At a young age, I never really understood why my father wasn't always around. I often look back now at all the times I have cried, wondering where he was. I would look out of Grandma's window at 7 a.m. on Saturday morning, wondering if he was going to show up. And when I did see him, I always asked him not to leave, but he did. I always wondered, why is my grandpa picking me up from school? Why is Grandpa taking me out to ice cream instead of my father? My mother hated him, so I didn't dare ask her.
Why isn't my father ever around?
It was a question in the back of my mind that I dared not to dwell on. I try to think back, when exactly was my question answered? Why isn't my father ever around? It may have been the year my grandfather died that my father began to realize that the life he was living needed to change. I vaguely remember receiving letters from him. On the envelope, it was addressed with his name, from a rehab center, somewhere in West Palm Beach, Florida. I didn't quite understand this at the age of 10. How could I? Mom never told me he was addicted to every kind of drug imagined. Mom never told me he was an alcoholic. Why would I think he is in a rehab center? Grandma never told me. Grandpa, who was like a father, never spoke a word about it. Why was I receiving this letter? Sure enough, I opened it, and it was a letter apologizing for not being a real dad. I was confused. I loved him so much, how could I not accept his apology? Writing letters back and forth, I couldn't wait to see the new and improved father of mine.
Love always, Ayla.
Is that Daddy?
Months later, I finally got to see him. He was completely different, and we spent time together every day. It was a new beginning. I had a father like everyone else. By 2000, he had been sober and clean from the use of drugs and alcohol a complete year. Not only that, but had become a fireman. I was so proud of him. That same year, he received his 12-month coin from Alcoholics Anonymous. And I was the one to present it to him and tell everyone how happy I was to get my father back. My mother still hated him. I didn't care though. He was still my father, the man that made me smile, just because I knew he was actually trying. Years on, he is not only a Buffalo fireman, but a counselor for teenagers escaping drugs and alcohol. We always take our walks in the park, and after that pick up a tall vanilla bean frappuccino at Starbucks, and talk about how things were before and how much has changed. He shares his experiences about the life he lived before, and I would have never thought it so powerful. Sounds as if he lived a bad dream, a lonely dream from which he had finally woke up.